Hi students, it's Mrs. Huberty. I'm back to teach you guys how to put together your personal narrative using Google Slides. And today our goal is to start our first draft and use our Google Slides to help us write it and get through maybe we can try to get through the first 3 slides together. All right, so let's take a look at what we have here. All right. Kind of follow me over here. I'm going to go into my Google Slides, and I've already pulled mine up. Remember, you just go right to your waffle, and it should pull it right up for you under the slides, and that should take you right to, I already pulled it up, but I'll pull it up again. Here we go. Okay, so you should have sent yours already to your teacher. And I've only opened up one from my student, but I had several from my students yesterday, or from that had sent it in. So I've got one right here, like Lindsay gave me her family trip to Kenya, but mine is going to be my family trip to Winona. I'm going to click on that, open it up. It's going to be fun. All right. So we haven't done anything except just setting ourselves up to be successful in putting this all in order. We have our title page, by, and then our name. You put in the word introduction first, next, after that, and finally. Let's go back up to our slide number 2 that it says introduction. Now you guys have probably already written your introductions. You had to practice writing 4 different types of introductions. And so I have mine. Let me grab it. I don't know if I put it on this one. Nope, it's not in that notebook. Hold on. Must be over here. All right, I found my notebook that I had written it in. Here it is, my introduction. So I'm going to go ahead and type my introduction that I had written inside of my writing notebook. And you should have written it when you were in school, either on Wednesday or Thursday. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and look in here. Mine I'm doing is a dialogue. So I tab once and it gives me like an indent. Do you notice how I did that? So I'm going to backspace. I press the tab key, and it goes in once. I just do it one time, and that's going to give me a nice indentation, and then it'll help me to show that I'm starting a new paragraph. All right, there's my quotation mark, my first quotation mark, and mine starts off, I decided I'm going to do dialogue for mine. I can't believe how pretty it is down here. Exclamation point, quotation mark, and then I said, I don't need a comma because I have an exclamation point, so that means I don't need the comma. I said, as we were driving through the bluffs, oops, go back, of southern Minnesota. I added one more sentence to mine because I wanted my introduction to have like a little bit more information, not trying to give everything away, but trying to get it so you guys, that my reader might be like, ooh, what is this all about? So I'll give them a little more information. It was our MEA break, and my family and I were taking a little vacation to Winona, Minnesota. Okay. So now that I've written my introduction, this is good right here. I don't have to add anything else. My introduction is just meant to be 2 to 3 sentences, hooking my reader in, wanting to read more and learn more about what my personal narrative will be. Now I'm going to go to my first, and in this one right here, you're definitely going to want to take a look back on your planning right here. So when you look at it, I'm going to look back on my planning, and the first thing that I wanted that is in my first one is the drive to Winona. So I need to start off my sentence, and I'm going to maybe use the word first. And I'm going to tell about when this started. So I'm going to say first, so I'll indent again, so make sure you do that. And first, we left for Winona in the morning on, I'm going to say, see, this is the great part about when you're on like a Chromebook, because when you're writing it, sometimes you feel like you're kind of locked into like whatever you're writing with your pencil. But when you're on a Chromebook, you can just easily go back and like delete it and edit right away. That's the best part of a Chromebook. Okay, first we left for Winona I keep doing it, on Friday morning. It was snowing when we left. I was really worried that it might ruin our vacation. As we drove and got closer to Winona, the weather started to get sunny, and we saw beautiful fall leaves. There was, I want to talk about how, like that there were these like really big hills and bluffs on either side of the highway, and it was really cool. So I think I want to talk about that too. There was big hills and bluffs. If you don't know what a bluff is, it's kind of like it's like a rocky hill. And they kind of go straight up, and they're sort of cream colored, and they're very jagged looking. They're really pretty. There were big hills and bluffs along the sides of the highway. I'm going to tell you also, we made one stop on our way down, and I can't wait to tell you about it. We made a stop at a special toy store, I know, called Lark Toys. Maybe you've been there before. My kids and looked at all the different toys and picked out, and I'll tell you what, you probably want to know what they picked out. Toys. Tommy, my 10-year-old, picked out a Lego set. It was really small because they were really expensive. Lego set. Colin, my 5-year-old, picked out miniature dragons. They're really cute. They're really small. They also got to ride on a merry-go-round. We had a lot of fun there. Okay, So I'm going to read it back to myself to make sure that it felt pretty good. As you noticed, I have lots of sentences in here, and I gave lots of details, and I told you how we felt. So those are important details that I write as I'm telling you my story. First, we left for Winona on Friday morning. It was snowing when we left. I put an exclamation point because that's not normal that it should have been snowing. I was really worried that it might ruin our vacation. It tells you how I'm feeling, and that gives my reader, kind of keeps you in there so you know how the person is feeling as they're going through this experience. As we drove and got closer to Winona, the weather started to get sunny, and we saw beautiful fall leaves. There was big hills and bluffs along the sides of the highway. So even though I don't tell you, now I'm happy again, you know that I'm thinking more positively because I tell you about how it gets sunny and there's leaves and big hills and bluffs, and it sounds like I'm feeling really positive about it. We made a stop at a special toy store called Lark Toys. My kids looked at all the different toys. Tommy, my 10-year-old, picked out a Lego set. Colin, my 5-year-old, picked out miniature dragons. They also got to ride on a merry-go-round. We had a lot of fun there. So that tells you just a quick little part about us driving down. Maybe your story will have things about how the plane ride, what time you left to go to the airport, and when you got on a plane, or what the drive to someplace was like. Was it long? Was it boring? You can tell all those details about it. But your first part is telling us, kind of setting up what the story is going to be. Now I'm going to go to my next. And for this one right here, it's going to be the one about how we're at the hotel. So my next part of the story is my hotel story, part of the story. All right, I'm going to go back in here. Did you notice already? If you didn't notice this, watch what I did. Boop, indent. Okay, so I want to tell you guys about the hotel that we stayed in. Okay, so I'm going to use the word next as my first part of the sentence. Next, we arrived in Winona. We got to our hotel. It was the tallest building in Winona that we could see. This made the kids really excited. It's always fun to be in a tall building in a hotel. They wanted to be on the top floor. We got to our room, but we were on the second floor from the top, and our view wasn't that great. Tommy told us if we looked more to the right out of our window, it would be a nicer view than the back of the Target. The pool at the hotel was really small. I know I'm not making it sound like it's the greatest hotel, but it actually was fine. Maybe I should say that because our view wasn't that. Maybe I should say that. The room was still pretty nice. Oh, okay. So because that's important. Nobody wants to stay at a crusty hotel. It was nice. Was real. Okay, so the pool at the hotel was really small, but there weren't a lot of people staying there, so Tommy and Colin loved swimming in the mini pool together. They had a blast. We had fun. Me and, I'm going to have to, my husband and I would play cards. Actually, we would play this funny game called Pass the Pig. It's so fun, you guys would play. So I'm going to put that detail in. Pass the pig while watching them splash around. Okay. I think I'm going to stop right here. So I want you guys to also just get to your fourth slide. So by this time, I just am going to have you do your introduction, your first, and your next. And it should take a little while to get there, because I'm an adult, so I've done this quite a few times. And so this is where I just want you guys to get to, and I'll be able to see your progress when you're done, and your teachers will be able to see yours too when you share, because you've already shared your Google Slides with them. So all right, so when you come to school next, then you'll need to have your introduction, your first, and your next done, and then we'll finish after that and finally in class. All right, I hope you guys had a fun time watching, and we are done.